Here I am alone with nothing but a dream. And you are mine. Just exactly what I'll do, I don't know, baby. But I gotta find a way to reach. Tell me what I gotta do to get to your house. Tell me where I gotta go to be with you. Tell me what I gotta say to speak to your heart. Tell me what I need to know tonight.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVLN Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVLN.
The Audio Genius.
Get in on the conversation with Rufus Williams and the Morning Show at 591-1690. We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVLN.
Good morning, and welcome to Monday. It is the 13th of April, the year 2026. It's the Rufus Williams Show. I am Rufus Williams, and as always, thrilled, excited, just so delighted to be here with you this morning. And thank you so much for waking up with Rufus. 2 days before tax day. Titus, how's it going?
Not good. Still ain't done it yet. But I made my appointment.
Make your appointment and make sure at least you get the extension file.
I definitely did.
At least do that. Annette, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, and I'm like Titus. I haven't done it yet. I typically never do it early, and this is not considered early by no means, but late for me would be late afternoon on the 15th. So, yeah.
We have been trying, and I've been trying to get them done in time. Last year was much earlier than October, so I got them done in July. We'll see. They're laid out. We'll see. I'm still working on getting them done by tomorrow, but I will probably send in my extension tomorrow just in case I miss it, just in case. So hopefully everybody else is on top of that, because to miss that deadline will cost you a lot of money. This is experience speaking. Just make sure that happens. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot that went on. I do first need to say, so glad that Artemis landed safely on Friday.
What a joy to watch that. That was fun.
It truly was. All the lead up to it, and then to just see it come in, and to see the fire, the ring, just the fire coming out of that capsule as it was coming back to Earth. You felt good once they got into the helicopters and got back in, but there was still anxiety, certainly for those of us who were just watching. So I can't even imagine what it was like for the families of those astronauts. But glad they're back, glad they're here. The moon is now back in play. Just really, really exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like I said, I was definitely watching it. I was a little horrified, though, with the fire, so I definitely understand how you're feeling. So, but it was just pretty cool to see, when they finally got to Earth's orbit and the parachutes popped out and it was slowly descending into the ocean. I thought that was pretty cool.
And Titus, did you have any bets on the Masters?
See, yes, I did. And I wish I would have put the money on it because I would have won.
You know what? And I feel the exact same way. And I thought about this morning, but I don't bet. And so to start just because you got right one time, that's kind of where it starts to happen. But like Rory McIlroy, I like the fact, Titus, he's around our height. So that's what
I agree.
You find some reason to cheer for somebody, and that was a good reason to cheer from him. Yet again, very little flavor at the Masters. Without Tiger, we just don't get many black folks.
No, we don't.
And so I don't know. I guess you need to go work on your game, Titus, so you can be there next year.
That's the plan. Let's do it.
That's what's got to happen. Again, there's a lot going on. We can talk about the fact the Bulls out of their misery. The Sky is doing a whole lot.
Man, who saw that coming?
Man, apparently Nadia Rawlinson did. They got a lot going on. Still a lot happening in negotiations. The Pope is speaking the gospel, and speaking against this war and speaking out unlike any other pope has? Could it be because he is American? Could it be because he's from the South Side? People and folks from the South Side speak their piece. So either way, what he's saying makes sense, and anybody who's saying anything against that makes no sense. And that's what we have.
I do got one funny thing about the Pope, and a little bit of lighter note on the Pope. So when hey, he has his parade through the Vatican,
Yes.
and he was waving, and some people yelled out, "Go, cuz, go!" He says, "No, not that, not that, anything but that."
Still a White Sox fan.
Absolutely.
True. Let's get to work. We've got a gentleman on the line, Travis Voss. He is the Director of Innovation, Technology, and Fabrication at SMACNA. We talked to SMACNA last year, so I won't tell you what it is. I'll just let Travis tell us. Travis, good morning and welcome to WVLN.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Yeah, SMACNA. So it stands for the Sheet Metal and Air Conditioners Contractors National Association. So we are HVAC folks focused on the sheet metal side. So I run the innovative technology and fabrication portion of that. And we are in Rosemont this morning. We're kicking off our fabrication forum here. We're going to kick that off here shortly with the opening remarks and head over to the Hill Group in Franklin Park to do a tour of their facilities.
Fantastic. It's wonderful that you're the head of innovation. You got to innovate a new name for you guys, Travis.
It's been around for a while. I don't think it's going away.
Maybe we can just call them SMAC. It's a lot. Your role there and the fact that you all are here and the fact you're on with us is really important, because so often, particularly with the advent of AI, comes the conversation about what's happening with jobs, what's happening with education, and where do we go. There's also long been discussion about teaching the trades and more of that going on. But talk about this emphasis and what's available, what's possible in the demand for jobs for the trades.
Yeah, I'll start with the demand. We did a recent study along with a few groups here. We just did the national Careers and Trades Week, and we found that we're projecting over 600,000 jobs year over year available each year for the people in the building trades, and those careers earn a median salary around $58,000, and you could easily make six figures within the first 4 or 5 years of becoming a tradesperson. And there's plenty of opportunities to join. There's 26 different building trades. We have some folks from our industry, from our side of the industry, that have created a new not-for-profit where they're doing camps around the country called the Heavy Metal Summer Experience, where we get high school kids out, we get them into the training centers, we get them into different contractors, and they spend their summer, building small projects, learning about the different types of trade work that's available.
Is this demand for trades because there are more jobs available, or are there fewer people being trained for these jobs? What are you seeing?
Well, there's both. You're seeing with the advent of AI, there's a lot of data center work. There's a lot of these large projects with some of the push to reshore some of our manufacturing. So there's a lot of big projects that are going on, but there's also a lot of folks that are retiring, right? Especially if you're a union tradesperson, you can retire in your 50s, and we're seeing a lot of those people starting to retire out, and we're not replacing them fast enough. And then you add on top of that this large job growth. So there's plenty of opportunity. We're hungry for people. We just need to fill that pipeline.
Now you're in Rosemont. You're going over to Hill Mechanical here in Chicago. Travis, why is Chicago a great city for trade jobs?
It's a great city for trade jobs. There's a lot of industry around. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of building going on. I'm sure anybody that's been around Chicago just sees construction going on all over the place, right? And it's kind of a centralized mecca for the Midwest, particularly for a lot of these large projects, right? You're seeing a lot of these warehouses, the data centers, the manufacturing facilities. There's just a lot of good places to build these projects, a lot of good opportunity here. And there's a lot of folks, I think, in the area that are starting to understand that maybe college isn't the best path for everybody. So they're starting to see the opportunities in the trades in this area.
Certainly important to have options. We're talking with Travis Voss. He is the Director of Innovative Technology and Fabrication for SMACNA, right here in Rosemont. We'll be back more with Travis to talk more about what's happening in technology, what's happening in the industries when we come back right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
It's D.L. Hughley.
Nick Cannon's logic is as weak as his program. Everybody fucking knew that Republicans freed the slaves. Everybody knew it. The last time he did something for black people was 163 years ago. You got to update your resume. Have a 5-year gap on your resume and see if it's valid. When Republicans did that, Hawaii wasn't a state. If you're going to talk about the greatest of a policy that helped black people out, it should at least be sometime after the fucking moon landing.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON. Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
We're seeing some high travel times early this Monday morning. Already a 33-minute trip on the inbound Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. You want to factor in an earlier accident at 59th Street. The Bishop Ford Tuskegee Airmen Memorial for now, both moving along at the posted speed. As you make your way along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, we are seeing some delays northbound right around Hayes. That trip from 67th Street to Jackson will take you just about 15 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe, also a 15-minute trip. The inbound Stevenson, some issues early this morning. You want to look out for a crash. On the inbound side, it's at Route 83. Apparently, there's a car in a ditch there, making your inbound travel time from I-355 to DuSable Drive 50 minutes, 30 traveling out. The Eisenhower in from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, already 45 minutes, outbound 43. And the Kennedy moving along at 40 in from O'Hare to downtown, a slow-moving 40-minute trip to the airport. Taking that first look at weather, mainly cloudy this morning and warm. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a high near 80. We're at 65 at O'Hare, 65 in Hyde Park, and 65 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm NF Lornoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. I don't know if you've ever been to the Black Ensemble Theater, but if you have, you know they get it in up there. And if you haven't, you have been missing a treat. But here's an opportunity and a reason for you to go again. Friday, April 24th is WVON night at the Black Ensemble Theater as we continue to celebrate our birthday all month long. Friday, April 24th, it will be the return of the award-winning hit, The Jackie Wilson Story. From Lonely Teardrops to Higher and Higher, this electrifying production brings the legend to life. His voice, his moves, his music. It's not just a musical. This is a full experience. It'll be hosted by our very own Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. The Black Ensemble Theater is located 4450 North Clark. Go to ticketfalcon.com. Get your tickets now. WVON, we're 63 years old and we're still having a great time. Back to my conversation with Travis Voss. Travis is the Director of Innovative Technology and Fabrication for SMACNA, which stands for Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors National Association. He's here in Roseland for a conference and moving on to Hill Manufacturing. Travis, I have to ask you, what do you guys do at a conference for the sheet metal and air conditioner contractors?
This conference is all about our fabrication. So a lot of our contractors, sheet metal workers, they build their parts and pieces off-site, and then they assemble it and move it on to the construction site. So this conference is an opportunity for our members to join up, to learn from each other, to tour the Hill Group, in this instance, to tour a fellow member contractor, and just see how they process their work through their shops and through their offices to get the work out onto the field. So we're here to the first day, we're going to do a tour the full day. The Hill Group has a very large campus in Franklin Park. There's going to be a lot of stations that people are going to see the way that they do their work. And then tomorrow we have a bunch of education sessions here at Rosemont to talk a little bit more about the technology, about the processes, about the way that our contractors are doing their work.
Now, you are Director of Innovation, Technology, and Fabrication. Talk to us about innovation in this area. What's going on lately here?
Well, I think that there's a little bit of a misunderstanding in kind of the general audience about the level of innovation and technology inside of construction. We are a little bit slow to adopt certain things. Our construction industry is a very risk averse and very, very risky industry as far as a business owner can go. So we've been a little slow to adapt that, but we're currently going through our digital transformation. So we're seeing a lot more tools in 3D modeling, 3D scanning, robotics, machinery, that kind of equipment. So as we're continuing to see this industry explode and this industry grow, we're pushing a lot more technology to increase our efficiency and best practices and getting the work to the field. We were talking earlier about the trades workers. We're still going to need plenty of those trades workers, even as we get more and more of this technology, because we still need the craftspeople to bring the craft, to build the buildings, to put the work in place. All we can do with the technologies and with the innovation, the fabrication we're doing, is get it to a certain point faster with less mistakes and less rework.
So someone who is looking to get into the trades, what are some of the basic skills that they're going to need, no matter what it is that they intend to do, whether it's hands-on work or even using technology to do this going forward?
The basic skills, I mean, you have to have a pretty decent work ethic. We like to start pretty early. We work pretty hard, but a mechanical aptitude, good base math, an understanding of measurements, of spatial awareness. Again, it's kind of that mechanical aptitude. I enjoy fixing things. I enjoy taking things apart, putting back together. Those are the types of people that we like to work with. We like people that are tinkerers. Interesting enough, we also have, I mentioned like BIM modeling, 3D modeling. We found people that enjoy 3D video games, they work really, really well in that type of role. So if you are interested in the trades, but you're not someone that wants to go out and hang ductwork or pipe all day, there's still a role for you through the trades into something like that, where we're doing modeling, detailing, project management, running work, that type of stuff.
Travis, talk about your personal journey. How did you come to get into the position that you're in?
So I started my journey on the technical side. I was a software developer for several years, and then an opening came up at another Chicagoland area contractor named the Helm Group, where they were starting to push their technology journey a little bit more, and they needed somebody to be out in front of that. So I took that role. I worked there for about 8 years before this position opened nationally here at SmackNow. So I had the opportunity with the Helm Group to push that company forward, to help with their journey into adopting and leveraging more technology. Through that process, I got involved with other associations, with promoting the trades. I fell in love with the industry. This industry is full of terrific people, great companies. Very, even the large companies are very family focused, very family values focused. Every big company I've been part of here is actually very small in feeling. So through that interaction with the Helm Group, falling in love with the industry, wanting to promote the industry itself, promote opportunities in the trade. When this position opened here at SmackNow, I jumped at the chance to do what I was doing for one contractor to do it for 1,800 contractors across North America.
That's one way to get growth.
Yeah.
Indeed. Travis Voss, tell us, how do people find out? How can we find out more about SmackNow, or find out more about the trades and what you all do?
So if you go to smacknow.org, that's our website. There's plenty of information out there. We did just run the National Careers and Trades Week. So if you direct your people to go to nationalcareersandtradesweek.com, there's a lot of information out there that they can find. Get out and just start doing Google searches on the Heavy Metal Summer Experience. I can't push that program enough. That's a great program for young people to spend a summer getting interested in knowing what the trades can offer them. That's a great experience from kids.
Fantastic. Travis Voss, he's the Director of Innovative Technology and Fabrication at SmackNow. Thank you so much for providing this important information to us. Be well, my friend.
Thank you, Rufus. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
You too. Let's find out from Annette what's going on in the news. We'll be back with more after this.
Mainly cloudy and warm as temps climb near 80. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Breaking news this morning. Investigators are looking into the cause of a deadly house fire on the city's far south side. Authorities say it started early this morning near 104th and Green Street. Apparently, a 10-year-old girl was taken to Roseland Hospital where she was pronounced dead. Neighbors say the young girl was disabled. An 18-year-old man is in the hospital, last listed in critical condition. 2 other people managed to get out of the house without injury. It was a special weekend at Operation Push, where Yusef Jackson presided over his first Rainbow Push Coalition Forum. Perry Williams has more.
The Chicago-based civil rights organization held his first meeting on Saturday with Yusef Jackson as president and CEO. He was appointed to succeed his late father, Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.
It is my honor to stand with you. It is my honor to fight with you. We will rise together. Together, we will rise.
The group is preparing for the Rainbow Push annual conference in June. I'm Perry Williams.
The Rainbow Push Board of Directors approved Yusef Jackson as president and chief executive officer of the organization, saying it was what the late Reverend Jesse Jackson wanted. The civil rights leader died February 17th. He was 84. And as of this morning, southbound State Street is shutting down and is not expected to reopen for another 3 years. This is part of the ongoing construction around the new CTA station at the elevated Lake Street stop, which is also closed. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 7:32.
First the president, now a presidential center. The OPC opens Juneteenth weekend in Chicago. Where will you be? We're WVON.
We are creating our future. The Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council will be hosting its Chicago Business Opportunity Forums Day on April 17th at Convene Willis Tower. Advance your business strategy. Make new connections and receive the information and advice you need to elevate, empower, and excel your business. Save the date. CBOF takes place Friday, April 17th at Convene in Willis Tower, 233 South Wacker Drive from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To register and find out more, visit www.chicagomsdc.org or call 312-755-8880. It's time to create your future.
WVON is all about family. That's why Jill Ross of the Shenanigans series is back, bringing literacy to life for young people ages 6 to 16. It's the Chicago Read-In, Saturday, April 25th at the Harold Washington Cultural Center, 4701 South King Drive. The Chicago Read-In is designed to excite and stimulate the minds of young people by promoting the power of literacy and storytelling. It's an afternoon of live performances, including hip-hop ballet from Homer Bryant's Hip Let's Ballet Troupe, fresh off Broadway as Simba and the Lion King. It's Chicago's own A.J. Rhodes Jr. Enjoy spoken word by Logan Liu, blues by Fernando Jones, and get a history lesson on Maxwell Street from actress Dawn Bless. There'll be tap, mimes, sculptors, black cowboys. We're bringing our history to life for the next generation. You can also meet authors, purchase books, and connect to other child-friendly resources. The Chicago Read-In is a family affair and it's free, but registration is required. Register at Eventbrite or at WVON.com. The Chicago Read-In, Saturday, April 25th at the Harold Washington Cultural Center, 4701 South King Drive. Doors open at 11 a.m. and the show starts at 12 noon sharp. We're celebrating literacy, celebrating young people, celebrating our culture. On the station that celebrates Black excellence, WVON. The Chicago Read-In is produced in conjunction with Vaughn TV's upcoming series, Turn the Page, coming to Vaughn TV this summer.
WVON birthday celebration continues on Saturday, April 18th at the City Winery as we host the legendary Regina Belle.
Show me the way now.
That's right, Regina Belle is heading to Chicago for 2 shows at the City Winery, singing all of your favorites.
Baby, come to me, 'cause I love you.
This is your boy Maddie. Come join me. I'll be hosting both shows at 5 p.m. and 8:30. Don't miss R&B and jazz legend Regina Belle, Saturday, April 18th at the City Winery, 1200 West Randolph. Tickets are going fast. Get yours today, and happy birthday, WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Your travel times are ramping up. You're up to 36 minutes along the inbound Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. The Bishop 4 now 17 in from I-80-94. Heavy right around 103rd Street and slow all the way in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial still moving along at the posted speed for now. USAMBO Lakeshore Drive, still that 17-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson. You'll hit the brakes just before Soldier Field. Hollywood to Monroe, a 16-minute trip. If you're on the Stevenson, pretty heavy, now just almost an hour from I-355 to DuSable Drive. You want to factor in an accident blocking the right shoulder at Cass. Outbound, 40 minutes. The Eisenhower, 54 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. That outbound trip will take you 40. And if you're on the Kennedy, making your way in from O'Hare to downtown, expect 45 minutes. Getting to the airport will take you 42. Again, look at our weather. Mainly cloudy today, but warm. Temperatures are expected to climb near 80. The National Weather Service says tonight will level off at around 62. It's 65 at Midway, 65 in Inglewood, and 65 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Flanoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. I know you all are reliable. I know I can count on you, but you need to tell someone else about this. Next Monday, join me for a special New Leaf, Illinois takeover on the morning show right here at 8 p.m. Hear how New Leaf is helping people statewide clear cannabis and other records through free legal help and information. Visit newleafillinois.org or call 872-NEW-LEAF and be sure to tune in on April 20th at 8 a.m. for the New Leaf, Illinois takeover, only here on the Rufus Williams Show, only here on WVON. Happy to have my next guest join, talking this morning about distracted drivers. Dan Glasser is GM's vehicle performance owner, where he focuses on driver workload, phone integration design guidelines, impairment detection, and safety, active safety automation, HMI. Dan Glasser, good morning and welcome to WVON.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, it's good to have you. Talk about this whole issue around distracted driving. What are the facts that from the latest reports that we've heard?
Right, sure. So we do have 2024 stats. It always takes a few years to kind of get these reports together. So we have over 3,200 deaths. Over 639 of these deaths were pedestrians and cyclists, so they weren't even in the vehicle. And over 315,000 injuries, which, you know, is the size of a city like Pittsburgh. So I think that the problem does seem somewhat overwhelming, right? I mean, you just see so many people who are distracted, but each listener can say, well, I can solve my little piece of the problem. You know, I want no part in those numbers. And so I'll kind of adopt a better attitude to protect me and my loved ones. And if a lot of people do that, maybe we'll start to see some tick downs.
Dan, is it drinking coffee? Is it eating hot dogs? Or is it cell phones that are creating these issues?
It's, you know, actually, when it comes to eating, if you can do it with one hand and be reasonable, we don't actually see a huge uptick in risk on that. It's when you kind of have to have two hands. But largely what causes the increased risk with distraction is it's not the cell phone per se, it's what the cell phone makes you do. And what it does is it makes you look at the screen for a long period of time typically, and then you just look up for a short period of time, and you look back down for a long period of time. And when you keep doing that, you just kind of lose what's going on around you. And if something kind of crazy happens or unexpected, then you're just far less likely to see it and run into it. So it's not only texting, which is associated with a 6-time increase in crash risk, but it could be rubbernecking, like looking off at that crash off to the side when you should try to be avoiding the one that could be happening right in front of you, or even just rummaging around the vehicle, which can lead to a 9 times crash risk. So if you're trying to do something kind of complicated, it really is a good idea to stop or just pull over. You won't lose any cool points.
Now, Dan, you are a driver distraction engineer, which somehow I don't think that's what you planned to be when you were in high school. But this whole thing around driver distraction, what is it that we are doing? What is it that we can do? And what should we be doing to try and lessen that? All of us think we can do more than one thing at a time. And somehow we think glancing away isn't going to be an issue. But I suspect that you have there, with the studies that you've done and the technology that exists, ways in which to know what we're doing while we're driving beyond paying attention to the road.
Yeah. So what I tell people, and this is kind of regardless of what kind of vehicle you have, is just, it makes sense to just be prepared. So a lot of that is knowing your vehicle. So if you have a tool, it's a good idea to know how to use it so that you're not, trying to figure out where everything is in the center stack when you're driving. Spend a little time trying to figure out what you want. It doesn't have to be everything, but there may be a few kinds of things you want to do in there. And so just kind of know how to do that. Know what you can do with your steering wheel. You can change radio stations with some GM vehicles, radio stations, volume. You can change other settings. You can use voice. Also, when you get into the vehicle, just maybe take like a minute to say, what do I need for this drive? What can I do now so I don't have to do it later? Maybe that's a text. Maybe that's getting your navigation ready. Maybe that's handing a toy to the kid in the back seat so they're less likely to disrupt you. And if you do these things, you're prepared and you don't assume everything is A-okay and there are no dangers out there, you're going to be a lot safer. You're going to establish a really great habit.
The road changes quickly in front of us. Just looking away, a
Mm.
car can pull out, somebody can step into the road. We now have a lot of
Right.
bicycles here in Chicago, but there's so
Mm.
many things that can happen. What is some just
Mm.
basic advice that you would give people to try and help to prevent distracted driving?
Well, right. So actually, the origin of this month was a distracted driver running into a little girl in her neighborhood who was riding on a bike. And so and I don't think this distracted driver is any more distracted than you or I have been, the listeners. So I think what's important to understand is that if you decide that you can just take your eyes off the road at any particular time, it can result in a tragedy. So before ever taking your eyes off the road, really make a point. I know this sounds kind of dorky and nerdy, but you really want to make a point that there's nothing in front of you. You want to make sure it's clear. And when you do take your eyes off the road, make sure it's a short glance. And then when you look back up, look for a long period of time. And again, this is a habit. You just kind of have to try it over and over again, and eventually it becomes natural. But that's going to make you a lot safer. That's going to make people around you a lot safer. It's really being careful when you take your eyes off the road.
Does your research tell you that there's anything in particular that we're doing that's causing these issues? Is it trying to navigate? Is it trying to make a call? We've already talked some about texting, but are there any specific things generally that we're doing that's creating more issues?
Well, I think we know what we're doing. Again, it's not just the phone. There's all kinds of things that can take your eyes off the road, and that's the big risk factor. It's not so much talking on the telephone if you're looking forward, but it's more just understanding. It's more just, so I use this analogy. So in the winter, my goal is to not fall down. I walk a lot at night, and so there's like ice on the sidewalk. And when I assume that there's ice in my path, that there's some sort of hazard out there that's lurking that could get me, that could cause a problem, my awareness is up. I don't slip and fall. When I think that all the sidewalks are clear and I can just kind of lazily walk and not have to worry about anything, that is the only time I ever fall. So I think it's when your confidence is super high, you think nothing can happen to you. It's not true. If one off-road glance that's ill-timed can lead to, just a tragedy, and you want no part in that. I've seen what that does to families, and it's just life destroying. So keeping that in mind, understanding that's a serious thing we're doing when we're driving is critical.
Well, let me ask this question then of you, Dan
Mm-hmm.
Glasser,
Mm-hmm.
driver distraction engineer. What is GM doing? What are car companies doing to try and help us with distracted driving?
Well, GM does a lot of things. One of the things that maybe is underappreciated is the big screen in the center of the car. We actually keep up kind of high, so that way, if you do use it, a lot more of your vision is on the forward road scene. And so this is definitely much different than, say, maybe a phone that might be in a cup holder. If you try to look at a phone in a cup holder versus look at the screen in the center of your car and think about how much of the road you're seeing, it's a world of difference. So that's a huge deal. We also do things to try to make sure buttons are big and visible. Also with bigger screens, I know that there's some concern about maybe how distracting they are. But one thing they certainly do well is help you see around you. So if you have a camera view, you can really see well behind you, which is a big source of crashes. Also with navigation, you can see much more clearly. So maybe that glance doesn't have to be as long. You don't have to squint at it. Also, Bluetooth, you definitely want to pair your phone. So that way, if you're receiving a call or want to make a call, you can keep your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road. But also voice assistants are coming in strong. So right now, at GM, you can do a lot of things with voice. You can change the temperature in the car. You can get navigation instructions. But what is really cool is later this year, we're actually moving to Gemini. So you can be really creative in your request. You can say, I'm very hungry. I want the tastiest Italian, but I don't want to drive any more than 10 minutes. And it'll do all that research for you and give you a location. And so we're going to be able to control more and more of our vehicle with our voice. And so that way it's going to become more of a voice first interaction and not an eyes off hands interaction. And I think that's going to lead to a lot of safety benefits. Also, I know I'm kind of rambling, but we do have a lot of stuff. We have the ability to now understand when people are severely distracted or severely sleepy, very drowsy, and we can warn them. But we can go a little further now with enhancements to our driver attention assist feature, where let's say someone falls asleep and they're not responding, or maybe someone has an acute medical event and they are no longer able to manage the vehicle. We can actually then protect that driver by slowing the vehicle down, turning on the hazard lights, and calling OnStar. So, I mean, this is a huge deal, and this not only can save the life, may save the life of the driver, but those around that driver. And we have driver assistance features, which let's just talk about our backing features again. If you turn that stuff on, so you have your cameras and you have emergency braking, we've seen an 86% reduction in police reported crashes when people have those features. So this applies also to forward crashes in terms of hitting vehicles in front of you and even pedestrians. So I know sometimes they go off when you don't want them to, but they are effective. So I really do encourage people to keep those features on.
No, good and important stuff. And I've been in cars where they have the assist that keeps you in your lane as you're driving, cars that shake your seat when you are, they might think
that's
looking at your eye. That's you thinking that your eyes are going off the road. Yeah, all those things. It's annoying, but it helps and it works. So thank you so much for
we're always working to make them better. But it's just if you are annoyed in the moment, just understand that they really do work when you need them. I mean, they don't replace the driver, but they have a great record here of really reducing crashes.
Fantastic. Dan Glasser, driver distraction engineer at GM, helping us to stay safe while we're driving and while we're walking, given that others may not be paying attention as they need to.
Right,
Dan,
exactly, yeah.
Dan, thank you so much for all of this information. Thanks for being on with us this morning.
Hey, I love the discussion. Thank you.
As do we. Come back sometime soon. And stop telling me to get a new car, because that's what it sounds like. Be well, my friend. Thank you so much again. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
WVON turned 63 years young in April, and we're celebrating all month long.
Well, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Ooh, wee.
Join us for WVON Night at the Black Ensemble Theater on Friday, April 24th for the return of the award-winning play, The Jackie Wilson Story. This electrifying production will have you singing and dancing in the aisles as the Black Ensemble brings this musical legend to life. His voice, his moves, his music, it changed everything from Jackie Wilson's Lonely Teardrops to Higher and Higher. It's more than a musical. It's a theatrical experience. Join the afternoon show's personalities, that'd be me, Atiba Buchanan, and LaDonna Ray, as we host WVON Night at the Black Ensemble Theater, 4450 North Clark, Friday, April 24th. Get your tickets now at ticketfalcon.com or click the Black Ensemble banner at WVON.com. WVON is 63 and still having fun.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Hey, it's Cleopatra Draper. Join me for the Midday Show weekdays at 9 a.m., where we'll sip and spill all the tea. Do you want it hot or cold? Either way, we're serving up the flavor of the day. Weekdays at 9 a.m. right here on the station, giving you what's now and what's next. 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Do Sabo Lakeshore Drive much heavier and slower? You're now looking at 19 minutes from 67th Street to Jackson. As you make your way from Hollywood to Monroe, give yourself 20 minutes. Stop and go from Irving Park Road to Fullerton. Along the Ryan, that inbound trip from 95th Street into downtown, still just about 35 minutes. Getting there along the Bishop Ford, 20 minutes. And from I-80-94, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial just bumped up to a 25-minute trip in from I-80, slow from 111th Street all the way in. Turning to the Stevenson, still an hour from I-355 to DuSable Drive 40 traveling out. The Eisenhower just shy of an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound a 40-minute trip. And the Kennedy just bumped up to 50 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport, still that 42-minute trip. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and warmer today. The National Weather Service says we can make our way near 80. We're up to 65 at O'Hare, 65 in Inglewood, and 65 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back with a few minutes. Titus, the Bulls are out of their misery and letting us out of ours.
Thank God it's over.
Finally, it's over. A lot's going on right down the road in Milwaukee. Doc Rivers has decided he's out. He's done with his contract. What's going to happen with Giannis? A lot's going on down the road.
And watch what happens. I think the Bulls going to try to bring in Doc as their new GM and president of basketball operations. I would not be surprised.
It would be good. Doc says he needs a break, though. He says 47 years has been a long time.
Yeah.
He wants to spend time with his 7 grandchildren. I can tell him it's good. Grandparenting is good because you can always send them home.
That's true.
It's always somebody else's. But too much time might be too much. So we'll see. It wouldn't be a bad move. I like Doc. Good brother from the West Side, from Maywood. That would be good. A lot was discussed. We did even on Friday about Angel Reese leaving the Sky. Sky's been making some moves.
Man, I mean, they had a heck of a weekend. What a surprise.
What about that? Skylar Diggins is coming to Chicago.
I was so happy. I'm like, oh, they finally got her. They've been trying to get her for the last 2 years, and now they finally got her. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's a good move. And then next thing you know, I saw that trade for Rickea Jackson, who was drafted in the same draft with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. She was the shooting guard for the LA Sparks. So I thought that was a really nice pickup. And then they just kept going from there. And I'm like, wait a minute, they might low-key have a team now.
Dejanay Carrington is coming to Chicago.
Yes, I was really happy about that one.
Yeah, this is going to be a reason to go over to watch them. All of a sudden, there's some reasons. Angel seems to be pretty happy in Atlanta. Although I would probably be wondering, why didn't you all build a team when I was here? Oh, also, Courtney Vandersloot is coming back.
Yes, I saw she re-signed.
Yeah, Courtney Vandersloot, who is that guard who I don't want to guard. So yeah, it could be. We begin this in the draft. Is the draft tonight?
Yes,
tonight.
Well, let me make sure.
Anyway,
it is tonight, though.
I think it's tonight. We begin this season with some high hopes now for the Chicago Sky. So while things look bleak just a short time ago, it appears that they're really, really getting some things in order. Annette, J.D. Vance was going over to negotiate over in Iran, and somehow it didn't work, shockingly.
Yeah, that's a real big surprise, right? He came back, his, face was all low, hanging down low. And yeah, back at the drawing table.
Somehow it just didn't work. And now, he said he made his best and final offer, but then you hear Trump say he wants all or nothing at all. I don't know how you negotiate under those kind of terms.
I mean, that's not a negotiation. That's a mandate. That's an order.
That's exactly what it is. And other countries aren't paying attention to that. They also, while J.D. Vance was over there, he stopped in to do some campaigning in Hungary for Viktor Orban, which also didn't turn out very well for them. So this whole thought about Trump and winning just doesn't seem to be happening in any way, shape, or form. And I am now wishing I went and got my car washed last evening because it had been dirty for a while. And I thought I'd get it in before the rain, which I did.
All right.
I also thought about getting gas last night. I wish I had, because I'm sure it's going to be up about 6 cents or so per gallon today. And I don't need gas. It's getting closer now to about a half a tank because I'm trying to be judicious in my driving. But it seems that the answer is get gas as fast as you can.
Oh yeah,
the prices
absolutely.
are only going up.
I got a funny story. So I didn't drive because I'm getting some repairs done on my car. And so a friend was taking me over to O'Reilly's. And so as I was literally at the red light, when I was driving her car, I stopped and looked. I looked at the gas station and it was at $4.69. Why did I literally see it change to $4.79? I'm like, I've never seen a gas station change prices while I was right there in my life until Saturday. That was crazy.
Everything is ticking up. And what I'm noticing going into stores like Costco or the grocery stores, not as many people are there. This economy is really hurting people a lot. And we're seeing it in so many ways. I say all that. I'm hopeful that it gets better by October because that's when we're planning our trip, our WVON trip to South Carolina, our domestic trip. There's a lot of history in Charleston, and we're going to go take it in. So we're working through the details. I will give you the dates coming up very soon, but you want to join us for all of that. It is just about time to find out from Annette what else is going on in the headlines and what's in Black Information News. Be back with more for you right after this.
Cloudy and warm on this Monday, April 13th, 2026. I'm Annette Flernoli, and in the headlines, a 10-year-old boy was killed and an 18-year-old man critically injured in a fire in the Washington Heights neighborhood early this morning. And it was a special weekend at Operation Push where Yusef Jackson presided over his first Rainbow Push Coalition Forum. And as of this morning, southbound State Street is shutting down and is not expected to reopen for another year as crews work on the Lake Street elevated train station. National news from the Black Information Network is next on the iHeartRadio app and 1690 AM WVON Berwyn, Chicago. It's 8 o'clock.
I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First. Kamala Harris is thinking about it, going for another run for president. The former VP speaking at Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network convention, where he invited America's first Black vice president to speak, and she went right in on who she considers the liar, Donald Trump.
He lied. He told the American people on day one he was going to bring down prices and costs, and he lied. I will say this, however. You know, when you look at the numbers in terms of that election, 1/3 voted for him, 1/3 voted for us, and 1/3 did not vote.
And Harris says Trump's reckless war of choice is costing America international respect, with relationships ruined with allies. And the biggest price we're paying is the loss of American lives.
He is causing U.S. service members, 13 to have lost their lives, hundreds, it is estimated, of others to be injured, some very seriously, putting U.S. service members at risk. Under our administration, we expanded NATO. We brought 2 more countries in. he's now pointing fingers at these friends of ours who don't want to go along with his war of choice.
You already feel it. Prices are higher. Consumer prices jumped in March. Surging energy costs due to the war is a primary reason why. Taking out energy costs, a lot of other things went up too. Reaction from the White House is the president has been clear about short-term disruptions and says a spokesperson, eggs, beef, prescription drugs are falling or remaining stable. The spokesperson went on to add, President Trump has the American economy on a solid trajectory. How much is your child worth? How about the cost of a few dollars for a gun lock? The sheriff of Osceola County, Christopher Blackman, commenting after a 3.5-year-old Florida boy got hold to a gun and managed to point it at his little body.
The child unintentionally shot himself once in the chest. By the mere grace of God, he's not severely injured.
But if the gun had a lock, the child wouldn't be injured at all.
It's $5 to deliver to your front door. Local hardware stores have them for $5. So your child's life is worth a lot more than $5.
For more in these stories and international, national, state, and local news impacting the Black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeart Radio app or log on to BINnews.com. On social media, stay connected to the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network. Join our conversation on Blue Sky at Black InfoNet and follow me at Vanessa Tyler 1 on Instagram. I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
This report is brought to you by AutoZone. AutoZone, get in the zone. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier. I said when white people don't like something, they just remove it.
Or change it.
Yeah, they that's what they do. But where was the dude that was redacting stuff during the Puffy trial? I'm like, there was some stuff I didn't need to know. Like rubbing somebody's manhood on your chest. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
I might forgive you, but you'll never be able to drink nothing yellow ever again. Not ever.
Lemonade.
Not lemonade, not apple juice. Damn sure not that soda called Squirt. That could never happen. It is the D.L. Hughley Show.
Dreaming of owning a home? Fifth Third Bank is here to help get you there. Our down payment assistance programs open doors for families across Chicago. Whether you're buying your first home or planning for the future, we'll guide you every step of the way. Because at Fifth Third, we believe home ownership builds stronger communities. This is banking a Fifth Third better. Visit 53.com to learn more. That's 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Member FDIC.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Things are picking up once again along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. That trip from 67th Street to Jackson, 20 minutes. As you make your way from Hollywood to Monroe, a 19-minute trip. Turning to the Ryan, still just about 35 minutes in from 95th Street into downtown. Getting there along the Bishop Fort, 17 minutes in. We're seeing some stop-and-go traffic right around 103rd Street and slow all the way in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a 25-minute trip in from I-80. If you're on the Stevenson, you're still looking at an hour from I-355 to DuSable Drive 40 traveling out, an hour on the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, 45 on the return trip. And give yourself 55 minutes along the Kennedy in from O'Hare to downtown, 45 getting to the airport. Cloudy and warmer today. The National Weather Service says temperatures are going to reach really close to 80 today. Tonight, 62. Currently, we're looking at 65 at O'Hare. It is 65 in Rosemore and 65 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON, honoring 63 years and building what's next. Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's Rufus Williams on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
You wonder how I do it. It's just one simple rule. I'm just cool. Honey, baby, can't you see? Girl, I'm so cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Hey. R-U-F-U-S. What's that spell? R-U-F-U-S. I'm just cool. Honey, baby, can't you see? Girl, I'm so cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Sing it, baby. R-U-F-U-S. What's that thing? R-U-F-U-S. That felt cool.
The Audio Genius. The Audio Genius. The Audio Genius.
Welcome back. I am glad to have my next guest join because our organization is always bringing really interesting things to our city, to our society, to our minds. It's none other than Lauren Pacheco. Lauren is the co-creative director at Chicago Humanities. Lauren, welcome to WVON.
Thank you so much. Good Monday morning.
Good Monday morning. Good to have you. Let's begin right here. What is the objective of Chicago Humanities?
You know, the Chicago Humanities has been bringing together people for over 30 years, and we create space for thoughtful conversations and making the humanities accessible to everyone. And so we do this by inviting some of the most interesting thinkers and writers and artists into conversations with the public and really creating space to explore big ideas and shared human experiences. All that to say is that we are really quite interested in bringing together people in neighborhoods across the city.
And you do a great job. I really wish I could
Thank
get
you.
half the people that you all get to come on to come and join me. You're doing something different this year because it seems, as you mentioned, neighborhoods. There seem to be neighborhood days that you have with a lot going on in those spaces. Talk about what that is.
Yeah, of course. Our spring festival runs March through June with 3 big festival days and other programs across the city. And so this year we are on the South Side. As a native South Side Chicago and myself, will be in the Bridgeport community this Saturday. We'll be in Lakeview on May 9th and Northwestern University in Evanston on May 17th. And there's a range of conversations that will be happening on these days of all-day programming, featuring conversations on the Constitution and social justice to healthcare, literature, food, and architecture. You know, the humanities are really about how we understand ourselves in the world through things like history, literature, art, and culture. And bringing these conversations into community is really just so important to what we do at Chicago Humanities.
Lauren, how do you begin within these processes? Because you've got, as you mentioned, you've got some themes that are here, got some great people that are coming on. Do you sit with a blank sheet and or do you look at what's going on in society as you decide who to bring in?
A little bit of all of it. You know, as a co-creative director, my role is to help shape the artistic and intellectual vision of the Chicago Humanities Festival. And I work on curating the programs, right? And so that involves identifying voices and ideas that feel urgent, that resonate, and thinking about how we as an organization can engage audiences across Chicago. You know, I'm the first Latina in this role at Chicago Humanities, and that also shaped how I think about my work by reinforcing the importance of, you know, who feels represented in conversations we host and who sees the festival as a space that belongs to them. And so on the programming team, we are reading a lot, paying attention, and having really intense conversations, looking at what types of scholars, historians, or celebrities or local voices are producing new work. And then the festival season starts to take shape from those types of conversations that we're having.
So do you look for local people in that process, or are you looking across the country, across the world to determine who's coming through or who can come through?
All of the above. It's really important for us to make sure that we are building programming around issues that really matter to Chicago, things like housing justice, public health, infrastructure, and the arts. And oftentimes we're bringing together national voices and local leaders to be in conversation together. So it's definitely both.
Well, I would tell you, I look forward to getting the catalog, because it's always there that I look and say, I need to hear from this person. I need to listen to this. I need to catch that. So there's always some wonderful guests that you have come in, and I look forward to experiencing it. Interestingly, and this is interesting on a whole lot of levels, as I'm looking through the calendar, on the 18th of April at 11:30, you've got Dr. Ibram Kendi along with Mayor Brandon Johnson at the Ramova Theater in Bridgeport. All seems interesting, just where they are, who they are, and what they address. Talk about what that program might actually be.
Yeah, so Dr. Kendi is a friend of the festival and is returning with his new book to discuss how the Great Replacement Theory, this baseless concept, right, that Black and Brown communities will replace white ones, has ushered us into a sort of the anti-democratic age. And he will be in conversation with Mayor Brandon Johnson to talk about authoritarianism, to talk about its impact in cities like Chicago. And that is a really fantastic program, again, that will be taking place at the Ramova Theater this Saturday on the south side of Chicago.
That is this Saturday.
It is. Yeah. And along with Dr. Kendi and Mayor Johnson, we'll have photographer Tanika Lewis Johnson and architect artist Amanda Williams, both MacArthur Fellows, both Chicago-based creatives, leading a conversation on housing and racial inequity. So it'll be a really jam-packed day, talking about really important issues impacting our city.
All of a sudden, I'm looking for bad weather on Saturday, because there's a lot that's going on here throughout. You've got things that begin at 10 o'clock in the morning and go all the way through beginning Peter Sagal talking at 7 o'clock Saturday. Oh, that's in May. How did May get in?
Yeah, we end our last program is with the musician Charles Joseph Smith, an experimental musician at another space in the Bridgeport community called the Co-Prosperity Sphere. Yeah.
And so you're doing all these things. This Bridgeport Day is this Saturday. Then in May, on May 9th, you've got Lakeview Day. Thanks for coming up north. I know you guys on the south side just try to own everything. You got the Pope, you got you've got all of this, but that's okay. Thanks for coming up north. David Axelrod will be talking on May the 9th along with David French.
Yeah, David Axelrod and conservative New York Times columnist David French will be talking across the political aisle to discuss why they believe in why labels matter, right, and why they impact sort of democracy as we sort of talk about some of the most critical issues of the day. Yeah.
Really, really good stuff. You've got Kimberly Crenshaw, who is one of the founders of the Critical Race Theory that's joining as well on May 9th at the Athenaeum.
Yeah, and she's going to share some of her sort of personal story, her personal journey as an iconic civil rights advocate, and we'll be talking about her life and some of these sort of most important pressing ideas that she has been sort of grappling with and presenting with during her career. So that'll be a really fantastic day on Saturday, May 9th. In addition to other names like Padma Lakshmi, Emmy-nominated Top Chef host, she will be in conversation talking about how food in America have impacted her work and her culinary journey. In addition to, as you mentioned, Peter Sagal from Wait, Don't Tell Me. America turns 250 years this year, and will be presenting on a series of constitutional series conversations with us this year.
Yeah, we heard about that 250-year thing. You've also got Jelani Cobb, who's going to be here at the Athenaeum. Is going to be the place to be on the 9th. Yeah,
acclaimed historian Jelani Cobb will sort of help to lift the veil and talk a little bit deeper about recent social movements So that'll be an incredibly insightful, I'm sure, conversation.
Without a doubt. Look, here's the deal. We've got to tell these people that they cannot come to the Humanities Festival without coming on with Rufus Williams on WVON, because we need to talk to some of them. We're talking with Lauren Pacheco. She is a co-creative director at Chicago Humanities. We'll have more about their programs and how you can access them when we come back right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON birthday celebration continues on Saturday, April 18th at the City Winery as we host the legendary Regina Belle.
Show me the way now.
That's right, Regina Belle is heading to Chicago for 2 shows at the City Winery, singing all of your favorites.
Baby, come to me, 'cause I love you.
This is your boy, Maddie. Come join me. I'll be hosting both shows at 5 p.m. and 8:30. Don't miss R&B and jazz legend Regina Belle, Saturday, April 18th at the City Winery, 1200 West Randolph. Tickets are going fast. Get yours today, and happy birthday, WVON.
If you are caring for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, you are not alone. You can find support, resources, real conversations, and guidance at the 4th Annual Release the Silence Conference, hosted by the Alzheimer's Association Illinois Chapter. This free conference is Saturday, April 25th, 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the UIC Forum in Chicago. Join the conversation. Register at alzillinois.org/release the silence. That's alzillinois.org/release the silence. WVON, media sponsor and proud partner.
Illinois politicians did it again. They secretly tucked bad policy into the budget. Now, guess who pays the price? Servers, drivers, stylists, workers who depend on tips. Unless Springfield fixes this mistake, your credit and debit cards may not work to pay sales tax or tips starting July 1st. Tell Springfield, stop the credit card chaos law. Learn more at guardyourcard.com/Illinois. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. For this free information, call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. That's 800-433-8909. Or simply visit godra.com.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top & Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance, and they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top & Top Insurance Agency.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
We have a lot happening along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Southbound, do look out for an accident at 31st Street. As you make your way northbound along DuSable Lakeshore Drive from 67th Street to Jackson, expect 22 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe, a 20-minute trip. As you make your way along the Ryan, 95th Street into downtown, you're still looking at just about 30 minutes. The Bishop Ford, a 20-minute trip in from I-80-94, heavy around 103rd Street all the way in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, a slow-moving 25-minute trip in from I-80. Turning to the Stevenson in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, a 50-minute trip. You do want to factor in a stall. It's in the center lane at Harlem. As you make your way outbound, that's 40 minutes. The Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, a 54-minute trip, 40 traveling out. And the Kennedy, still close to 45 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, just about 42 making it to the airport. Cloudy and warm today. Temperatures headed near 80. We're lingering at 65 right now at O'Hare. It's 65 in South Shore and 65 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We are talking to Lauren Pacheco. She is the co-creative director at Chicago Humanities. Got a lot going on beginning this weekend here in the city. Here in the city. So we've talked about Bridgeport. We've talked about Lakeview. You've also got some things going on in May up at Northwestern with some pretty interesting people. Like, I don't know, one of the Emanuel brothers is going to be here.
Actually, Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel will be part of our program this Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yes. And but we have a really fantastic day scheduled on May 17th with Mary Beard talking classics, as well as Congresswoman Lauren Underwood in conversation, talking about her experience as the first woman of color and millennial to represent Illinois' 14th district, as well as John Waters chatting about his screenplays, his process. And it'll be a bit of a conversation as well as a special reading by himself.
It's fantastic. You've also got Walter Isaacson scheduled to be there on May 17th, who was a best-selling biographer who writes the biggest biographies that I've ever seen.
That's right. That's right. They're holding up many doors, I'm sure. But he will be in conversation talking about, again, America's 250th anniversary, and will be on our stage to really sort of talk through the Declaration of Independence and how through these sort of polarized times we can restore some common values in American democracy, as well as Peter Sagal bringing his third conversation of the Constitution series to Northwestern.
So what's Peter doing? Are there different aspects of the Constitution he's covering? Because he's in each of the days that you have scheduled.
Yeah, he is. He's bringing different elements of the larger sort of theme of America turning 250 with very specific voices. We had, when we were originally having this conversation of what that series could look like, we realized that having it all on one day would just be really quite intensive. And so we took advantage of the festival being in 3 parts of the city, intentionally with all-day programming and dropping these Constitution conversations. So it allows folks to sort of build upon each of those conversations and join us across the city.
Really good and really important. People who want to come to any or all of these, what do they do?
Well, I encourage folks to come to as many programs as they can this spring season. You can check out the full lineup on chicagohumanities.org. and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Chicago Humanities, where you can get a sense of all of the programming. And if you missed out on programming, there's some really great pictures and other types of videos that we share out so that folks can get a little taste of what we presented.
But you have to be in the room in order to really hear the conversation. There's no other way to get it other than being there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, live in person. We hope for people to come out and enjoy the city and be a part of the day with us.
Now, can people get a pass for the entire season, or is it done show by show or conversation?
It's done show by show. Yeah, we don't really have a pass because we know how busy and jam-packed our days and evenings and weekends can be. So it's a bit of like an a la carte experience. But, if you want to, experience, a morning sort of set of programs, you can definitely take advantage of it. We have some really great ticket pricing ranges for teachers and students and community members. So we really want to make sure that the people can feel that they can access our programming.
Right. And of course, you have special rates for seniors, too.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right.
Fantastic. Always look forward to the Chicago Humanities Festivals every year when they come around, every time they come around, because they're really wonderful conversations, wonderful people, wonderful ways to meet them, and really to meet them and get your book signed and all. It's a wonderful event, wonderful festival. Lauren, thank you so much for what you all do. And thanks for coming on with us this morning to share it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
It's been hours. Thank you. Want to make sure there's so much going on, because as spring comes and as Annette has finally given us some decent weather by which to be out and get around, there's just a lot going on. One of the other things that we've got going on here is April 25th. Make sure you don't miss the Chicago Read-In from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Harold Washington Cultural Center. It'll be hosted by our very own Cleopatra Draper. It'll feature incredible performances from the Hipley Ballerinas, Fernando Jones, Mad Rhythms Tap Academy, and more. It's a place where stories come alive, sparking imagination for all ages. The Chicago Read-In is free, but you must register to attend. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.com and make sure you bring the entire family to the Chicago Read-In Saturday, April 25th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Harold Washington Cultural Center. Let's find out from Annette what's going on in the news. I'll have more for you when we come back right after this.
Mainly cloudy but warm today as temperatures climb near 80. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Breaking this morning, investigators are looking into the cause of a deadly house fire on the city's far south side. Authorities say it started early this morning near 104th and Green. Now, earlier, there were conflicting reports, but we have confirmed that a 10-year-old boy was taken to Roseland Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Neighbors say the child was disabled. An 18-year-old man is in the hospital, last listed in critical condition. 2 other people managed to get out of the house without any injury. A key meeting at City Hall could decide the price of a future cab ride in Chicago. The Committee on License and Consumer Protection is taking up the mayor's proposal to raise fees for the first time in a decade. Under the mayor's proposal, the base fee would stay $3.25, but per mile, time charges would increase along with new fees for rush hour and overnight rides. The plan also includes higher flat rates for airport runs from the airport to downtown. Well, former Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is officially running for political office again, this time in the state of Georgia. She's seeking a seat on the Fulton County Commission. She announced her campaign with a post on social media saying she will run as a Republican. She's facing residency challenges there in Georgia. Meanwhile, here in Chicago, she remains under investigation for the handling of Dalton's finances. Well, it was a special weekend at Operation Push where Yusef Jackson presided over his first Rainbow Push Coalition Forum. Perry Williams has more.
The Chicago-based civil rights organization held its first meeting on Saturday with Yusef Jackson as president and CEO. He was appointed to succeed his late father, Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.
It is my honor to stand with you. It is my honor to fight with you. We will rise together. Together, we will rise.
The The group is preparing for the Rainbow Push annual conference in June. I'm Perry Williams.
The Rainbow Push Board of Directors approved Yusef Jackson as president and chief executive officer of the organization, saying it was what the late Reverend Jesse Jackson wanted. The civil rights leader died February 17th. He was 84. And as of this morning, southbound State Street is shutting down and is not expected to reopen for another 3 years. This is part of the ongoing construction around the new CTA station at the elevated Lake Street stop, which is also closed. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time coming up on 8:33.
WVON turns 63 years young in April, and we're celebrating all month long. Join us for WVON Night at the Black Ensemble Theater on Friday, April 24th, for the return of the award-winning play, The Jackie Wilson Story. This electrifying production will have you singing and dancing in the aisles as the Black Ensemble brings this musical legend to life. His voice, his moves, his music. It changed everything, from Jackie Wilson's Lonely Teardrops to Higher and Higher. It's more than a musical. It's a theatrical experience. Join WVON's afternoon personalities, Atiba Buchanan and me, LaDonna Ray, as we host WVON Night at the Black Ensemble Theater, 4450 North Clark, Friday, April 24th. Get your tickets now at ticketfalcon.com or click the Black Ensemble banner at WVON.com. WVON is 63 and still having fun.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Still seeing some delays along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that southbound trip, due to an accident there at 31st Street. Not affecting your travel times as much, traffic pretty light. However, the northbound trip from 67th Street to Jackson, a slow-moving 22 minutes. As you make your way from Hollywood to Monroe, we're looking at a 20-minute trip there. Turning to the Ryan, now 27 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Getting to the Ryan along the Bishop Ford, you'll need 20 minutes in from I-80-94. Slow from 103rd Street all the way in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial bumped up to 30 minutes in from I-80. Heavy from 115th Street in. The Stevenson, 42-minute trip in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, now 30 traveling out. The Eisenhower still lingering in around an hour in from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. That outbound trip, 35 minutes. And as you make your way along the Kennedy, we're looking at 43 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, a 30-minute trip to the airport. Taking a look at our weather, cloudy and warm today as temperatures climb near 80. Tonight, the National Weather Service says we'll level off around 62. We're still holding on to 65 at Midway. It's 65 in Austin and 65 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We haven't talked about it in a bit, but it's still an issue, and it's an issue that we cannot forget. It's the issue of plastics and how plastics impact all of us in society, whether we're using them or not. And the more we use them, the more impactful they are. Had a conversation on Friday with Reverend Lennox Yearwood, who is the producer of the Plastic Detox, which is now playing on Netflix. I want to share that with you this morning. Reverend Yearwood, welcome to WVON. Good to meet you this morning.
Good to meet you this morning. Good, great to be here.
And good to have you. Let me give folks an idea of who we're speaking with. Reverend Lennox Yearwood is the president and CEO of Hip Hop Caucus, a national nonprofit, nonpartisan organization, which is celebrating 20 years of advancing civil and human rights through hip hop culture. He's a senior advisor for Bloomberg Philanthropies and is one of the most innovative advocates for racial and climate justice. One of 50 change makers selected for Forbes' inaugural sustainability leaders list in 2024, recognized everywhere for everything, doing a lot of stuff, has a wonderful show on Netflix called The Plastic Detox. Again, Reverend Yearwood, welcome to WVON. Good to have you here.
Man, it's so good to be here.
Talk about this. How did you get involved in this whole issue of climate? And then we want to talk with you more about this whole plastic detox, which is so important for us and for our environment.
Well, I'm originally from Louisiana.
What part of Louisiana?
And so I was born in Shreveport,
okay.
And then migrated through St. James Parish, and then probably ended up in Louisiana, in New Orleans, and ended up in New Orleans, and so I went down. If people ask, Louisiana looks like a boot. If you ever seen it, it looks like a boot.
You don't have to tell me. My folks are from northern Louisiana, from Monroe, and I went to college.
So I was born at the top of the boot, worked my way down.
There you go. And I went to college at Southern, so I got Louisiana all the way through. I know exactly what you're speaking.
Nah, but my family college was Grambling, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, I know.
Those two go at it.
They do. And I love seeing people from Grambling right now because we got them in the Bayou Classic, and I will not let them forget it.
Yeah, that's a big deal down there at the Bayou Classic. Now, it's funny. I deferred. I went to Howard University. So I was one who, I guess, I went east young man.
Yeah.
So I guess. But that is the beginning of the story. And being in Louisiana, there is an 85-mile stretch of land between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, which is called Cancer Alley.
Yep.
And in Cancer Alley, there's a tremendous amount of petrochemical facilities, and which makes plastics. And that community is predominantly Black and brown and indigenous, and dying because of cancer. Many of those folks in that community are literally dying. And then before that was Hurricane Katrina, which will be 21 years this year. And so that had a huge impact for me as well. So those two things, literally being a part of what is called the Cancer Alley community, and also seeing what happened because of Hurricane Katrina, and then being around a lot of celebrities, which was my work, would draw me around. I wanted to figure out how we could use our culture and our political and our creative culture to create change. And that's what I've been doing literally now for the past few years. And now that led into now making documentaries and movies, which is now what we saw. The Plastic Detox is on Netflix.
So it could be because of a lot of things that happen, or you're the Reverend, so God puts things together in the ways in which he does.
Oh, most definitely.
And I'm going down to visit my sister who has some cancer issues down in Louisiana. I'm going down to see her in just a little over a week. So we talk a lot
Yeah.
and think a lot about Cancer Alley. And I think about when I was in school and the number of times that our campus had to be cleared because chlorine gas was released from one of the plants
Yep.
down there. So it's a lot in the way the wind blows, where we are situated. And it's not a surprise, not a shock at all that we find that we're suffering through a number of things from the environment that others don't because of how and where we're placed.
No, and that's why this has to be an issue. People ask that question a lot because unfortunately, there are a lot of Black, brown, and Indigenous people who are involved in this, and usually coaxed around the term environmental justice. And there's a lot of that's a very important part of this conversation, and also the connection between climate justice and racial justice. They're literally the same. But for me, it's just that. It's just a bigger plan. When someone's business plan means a death sentence for somebody's community, that ain't right. You can make your money, make your living, but if you're making your money, make your living off the backs of my community, my people, and they're dying sometimes horrible deaths because of emphysema or asthma or cancer, then things got to change. And so, no, you're right. That was for me one of the reasons why then able to get the Hip Hop Caucus involved, which was great, and then got worked around to figure out how the funding process worked. We started working in that so we can then fund these projects because you learn very early on that no cash, no cause, and so we wanted to make sure that people had the resources and infrastructure to do this. Now, I figured out when they want to make movies, so the same thing applies. No money, no movie. And so we figured out how to do that, and that's what we're doing now.
It's good you're elevating this in the ways in which you are and being the person that you are. One more thing I just want to bring up. Jonathan Kozel is an author who wrote this book called Savage Inequalities, and he talks about a lot of these same things. And he begins in North Lawndale here in the community here in Chicago. He talks about East St. Louis. He talks about Cancer Alley. He talks about all these things in a book that he wrote more than 30 years ago. But think about that as well as what Vice President Gore did in really bringing forth the issues of climate, which makes it so challenging in this moment, Reverend Yearwood, when we have people who are currently in high positions, the highest positions, who refuse to accept the fact that these things are real and people are dying from this today and will die in the future from things that aren't being done to deal with the climate issue.
No, it's, and I think that that's when elections have consequences, and we need to understand that. And it is a situation where no matter what your political affiliation or your party should be, you should be concerned about the people who are in your community. And when those people are suffering, that's a problem. And you're right. And when you're literally, just lying, straight up just lying about the results of something, and then it's causing those communities harm, it's terrible. And people need to understand. I know quite well about Chicago and about the coal-fired power plants and the pollution. And again, deeming some communities as the path of least resistance. And thank goodness there were folks who were there who fought back and were just so courageous throughout that community and stood up and spoke up. And same way in my community in Louisiana. And that's actually in the film. I was actually very happy to bring that out in the film. There's a whole segment about that, if folks haven't seen it, in regards to talking about Cancer Alley in Louisiana and how we're winning in a very weird way in that aspect, how they're literally trying to build plants on former plantation sites and how the ancestors in a very unique way are actually causing that not to work. But to the point here about politicians, I think that, we have to stand up and fight for the next generation regardless and ensure they have clean air and clean water. And that they were not dying because we have all this plastic that's in our bodies now. So I think no matter who you are, I think that's one thing about this issue that we've seen from the documentary is that it is catching hold on many communities, both Black and white, rich and poor, rural and urban, across the globe. They're understanding. So hopefully the issue of plastic is something that we all hate. So hopefully we can do something about it.
Yeah, talk to us more about it. We'll be back. More of my conversation about the plastic detox with Reverend Yearwood. More after this.
Morning Show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
We are creating our future. The Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council will be hosting its Chicago Business Opportunity Forums Day on April 17th at Convene Willis Tower. Advance your business strategy. Make new connections and receive the information and advice you need to elevate, empower, and excel your business. Save the date. CBOF takes place Friday, April 17th at Convene in Willis Tower, 233 South Wacker Drive from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To register and find out more, visit www.chicagomsdc.org or call 312-755-8880. It's time to create your future.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
WVON is all about family. That's why Jill Ross of the Shenanigans series is back, bringing literacy to life for young people ages 6 to 16. It's the Chicago Read-In, Saturday, April 25th at the Harold Washington Cultural Center, 4701 South King Drive. The Chicago Read-In is designed to excite and stimulate the minds of young people by promoting the power of literacy and storytelling. It's an afternoon of live performances, including hip-hop ballet from Homer Bryant's Hip Let's Ballet Troupe, fresh off Broadway as Simba in The Lion King. It's Chicago's own A.J. Rhodes Jr. Enjoy spoken word by Logan Liu, blues by Fernando Jones, and get a history lesson on Maxwell Street from actress Dawn Bless. There'll be tap, mimes, sculptors, black cowboys. We're bringing our history to life for the next generation. You can also meet authors, purchase books, and connect to other child-friendly resources. The Chicago Read-In is a family affair and it's free, but registration is required. Register at Eventbrite or at WVON.com. The Chicago Read-In, Saturday, April 25th at the Harold Washington Cultural Center, 4701 South King Drive. Doors open at 11 a.m. and the show starts at 12 noon sharp. We're celebrating literacy, celebrating young people, celebrating our culture. On the station that celebrates Black excellence, WVON. The Chicago Read-In is produced in conjunction with Vaughn TV's upcoming series, Turn the Page, coming to Vaughn TV this summer.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. For this free information, call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. That's 800-433-8909. Or simply visit godra.com.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONwealthshow.com.
Comini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
This report is brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Ready for a home refresh? Now's the season to finally make it happen. At Ashley's Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, save up to 25% on your entire purchase with select spring styles, starting at just $4.99 and only at Ashley's.
WVON traffic and weather now.
And thankfully, we're finally seeing these travel times go down. That inbound trip along the Ryan now down to 22 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. The Bishop Ford much better, but still pretty heavy. 19 minutes in from I-80-94 to the Ryan, slow from 111th Street in. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, also a 19-minute trip in from I-80, heavy from 115th Street in. Along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that northbound trip from 67th Street to Jackson, now 17 minutes. That earlier southbound accident at 31st Street has now been cleared. Your trip from Hollywood to Monroe, 17 minutes stop and go from Belmont to Chicago Avenue. As you make your way along the Stevenson and from I-355 to DuSable Drive, still a 42-minute trip outbound 30. You're looking at 53 minutes along the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. The outbound trip 30. You do want to factor in a stall is blocking the right-left lane at right at the circle. As you make your way along the Kennedy and from O'Hare to downtown, a 43-minute trip. Getting to the airport, you'll need just about 41 minutes. Taking a look at our weather. Cloudy and warm today. Temperatures climbing near 80. We're holding on to 66 right now at O'Hare. We're up to 66 in Calumet Park and 66 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Back to my conversation with Reverend Yearwood on the plastic detox.
Hopefully we can do something about it.
Yeah, talk to us more about it. The plastic detox, your movie that's going on Netflix. Tell us about what you've learned, what you found, and tell us about the plastic detox.
Yeah, without giving too much away, I mean, you know, I'll give a good bit so you can still want to watch it. But I mean, obviously, this is a movie in which Dr. Shauna Swan and also Dr. McDonald are featured. They're scientists, and in this, Dr. Shauna Swan in particular, who's phenomenal, has been doing around looking at the impact of plastic on fertility. And so we decided to look at 3 couples who agreed to allow for their lives to, you know, to see what it would look, who were trying to have children. And they would agree to take out the plastic and see if any changes can happen. And I would say you need to see it for your own, because it's amazing. One, you're going to want to change your life, because not only if you're having fertility, but the people lost weight, they were able to sleep better, and we kind of know that because the way that plastic goes into your bloodstream, it has an impact in your body because it clogs. Plastic gets hard. It comes as a microfiber, and then it gets in, and then it clogs. Like, you know, so that's what we should expect. And we're actually, people, depending where you live, we're consuming about a credit card size worth of plastic through our body each and every week. And that's actually, which people wonder why you get that diabetes, why you're not sleeping, and all this kind of thing. So the plastic detox looks at that. So looks at it from the micro aspect of the families and how their lives are impacted. Then look at the macro aspect of the companies that are actually producing plastics and petrochemicals and where they're producing it and how that is having an impact on the large aspect of those communities, but also the world. And you know, we had 2 great directors, both award-winning in many areas. And so they were able to come together, and we were able to, put this, it was over a 7-year time frame from start to finish, and very fortunate to have it at Netflix, and people can watch it, and it's doing really well around the globe. So I'm just excited about this. And I think that for me, as someone who's been now since Katrina, been in this movement for the past 21 years as far as environmentalism, I really felt that we had to transition. I mean, I felt that we were doing a lot of demonstration, which is still very important to get out there into the streets. But I think that we had to get into the suites too and create this kind of content. So to go from demonstration to production to creating content was very important for me.
Now, Reverend Yearwood, tell us something about plastic that we may not know. What I understand about plastic is pretty much once it appears, it never goes away. There's no way to get rid of it.
That's one thing. Also, it's also made from fossil fuels. So it's made from oil and gas, most plastic. So not all, but most of it is made from oil and gas, which is very important because it's one of the things there, as we know right now, we are literally in the midst of a war over oil. And we've seen presidents being taken out of their country at the beginning of this year in Venezuela for oil. And then we're at war. And so everything is now in that, but oil runs out at some point in time, or how we're using it is changing. And so one of the things there is that the one aspect to oil is that it's plastic. And so this is kind of an end around that if we're not using it the same way that we used to use it, or not as dependent on it, if we're dependent on plastic, then we're still using it. So this is kind of something here. I don't think people understand that plastics are from fossil fuels. And so I think that this is one of the things we want to talk about, and how in the creation of petrochemicals, in essence, which creates plastic, how that has an impact on our bodies. And there are also certain kinds of plastics. So there are some plastics that are important. We need plastics for like heart stents and certain things, but we don't need plastic to wrap bananas or wrap our fruit in the grocery store. We don't need plastic.
Or our water.
In every aspect. In every aspect of our lives. So I think they would want us to consume and consume and consume, but there is a way that we can pull back. And there's good plastic and bad plastic. There's plastic that people that is also. So if you ever had a black container you got from like the carry out, that's terrible. You don't, and it's plastic. You want to, and even sometimes the clear stuff, but there's certain things that they're adding chemicals to it to harden it, to harden the plastic in a very cheap way. And then if you heat that in the microwave, oh my goodness, you're shortening your life in some cases. So the plastic detox is something. I mean, I'm also thrilled at how many people now are now creating things from it, like the TikTok, the young people, and on Instagram. It's a whole new thing around the globe. People are now creating stories and movies from the movie and the story. So that's actually exciting. I'm just excited to see how people are moving in the 21st century, creating change in content.
Well, you're obviously an activist in so many ways, and particularly here. What do you want people, you mentioned some of the things people are doing. What do you want us to do after having watched the plastic detox? That is about all we have time for today. But great movie. Make sure you check it out on Netflix, The Plastic Detox. Annette, always appreciate you and all the information you give us. And thank you for the numbers that you're giving us in the weather. We've been waiting for that all year. Titus, appreciate you, man, and keeping all these things together. As changes happen on live radio, you keep making it work. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all. I will ask you, as I always do, as you go through the course of the day, you will come across people who are dealing with things that you know absolutely nothing about. So please be kind. Always. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Have a conversation with Christian Mitchell, the running mate to Governor Pritzker as Lieutenant Governor in the upcoming election. So with that, Annette, tell us what's in the headlines. And Titus, take us home.
Cloudy and warm with highs near 80 today on this Monday, April 13th, 2026. I'm Annette Flurnoy, and in the headlines, a Southside Washington Heights grandfather is heartbroken after a 10-year-old boy was killed in an early morning house fire. It was a special weekend at Operation Push where Yusef Jackson presided over his first Rainbow Push Coalition Forum. And former Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is running for political office again, this time in the state of Georgia as a Republican. National news from the Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 9:02.
I'm Vanessa Tyler on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First. Kamala Harris is thinking about it